Hey guys, this is Mel, and I am back to talk about Motherland Fort Salem, episode 307, titled She Returns, which premieres Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022, on Freeform. I'm recording this roughly an hour after the episode has aired. So, huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. My other video reminders are up on screen, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. I will say this, I did say in my previous video that I wasn't going to watch the promo for 307. So, I'm actually kind of glad I did because there was a lot of great surprises that I just wasn't expecting. I didn't even look up the title name of the project because I know She Returns would have been a huge spoiler for me. But that was just really great. The only things I did notice was like there are some things that like I guess would have been from the promo that were like on Twitter that as like screen grabs and stuff, but like that wasn't enough to spoil it for me. So I actually really enjoyed not watching the promo before the episode. So I just wanted to say that there because I had quite a few genuine reactions when these scenes actually played out on screen, and we'll talk about those when they come up. So timeline wise, I think it's shortly after the events of 306, just based off of the fact that this episode starts off when Abigail and Adil are back at the secession holding house when originally the last time we saw them in 306 was them being at Fort Salem. And then also Tally, first time we see her in this episode is that she is traveling along the roads in the secession when the last time we saw her in the previous episode she was in California with her mom. So that's why I think shortly afterwards, I don't know how many days, or like maybe it is the next day, maybe it's next 2 days to allow for travel time. Who knows? But yeah, that's my speculation there. Reminder is the fact that this is where we get Rael's return. She's in more than one scene in this episode, so very excited to see that. Again, huge spoiler if she returns, it's mainly her that it's referring to. But the first scene of the episode is Raelle waking up in a field to her mom, actually her mom, and not like the mycelium version of her mom. And she's being told that she is well enough to return to the real world, or she could just stay in the mycelium world and have the Sunday picnics that she used to have with her mom. But Raelle ultimately wants to return not only to Scylla and her family there, but also because she needs to get back to the fight. So Willa gives the warning that like if Raelle does return, the mycelium won't be strong enough to kind of pull her back if she were in a situation where like she's in grave danger. Huge heads up there. We do have a great goodbye scene between mother and daughter, and then just as she's about to leave, Willa tells Raelle that the mother will call on Raelle in the end, and then she walks away, leaving Raelle in the darkness. So kind of seems like it's possibly alluding to what Tally had for her vision in the witch bomb. Definitely didn't give much information to Raelle about it, so we're left on the edge for that. Storyline wise, though, picked up on three different ones, although two of them do kind of connect with each other. So the first storyline is Where's President Wade, which will then lead to the second one, which is Invasion and the Secession. And then the third one, which is completely on its own until the very end, is Research in Spain. So the first storyline for Where is President Wade, we do see Anacostia, Abigail, and Adil teaming up to try to find President Wade by following the connection through the marshals. So they go to the first marshal, which is stationed at the perimeter of the session. This is where they see firsthand the invasion starting with all the Camarilla forces under the guise of the military approaching the perimeter and kind of forcing their way through. The witch soldiers don't want to be there, but the oversight leader is kind of forcing them all through. So there's that, which kind of leads into the invasion in the secession, because while that's happening, there's an emergency council meeting that leads Thelma to get double crossed and realize that the person helping the Camarilla is Millie, who is the one who actually lowers the wards set at the perimeter of the session, which allows for the oversight and their unwilling soldiers to come through the gate. And that's because Millie believes that all the military wants is the bellwether unit, and then they'll leave the session, not realizing, and Thelma knows better, that it's actually the Camarilla using the military to kind of go on their land to cause bloodshed. So that's a bit of something there. So while the council's kind of captured and held hostage due to Millie, we do see Tally and Scylla reuniting not only with each other, but with the rest of the Dodgers we had met in the season 3 premiere. And together they used Tally's sight to come up with a rescue plan to save the council from being um, apprehended by the incoming military troops being secretly run by the Camarilla. So we do see that happening there. They managed to get the council away from Oversight's hands. Also, they take Millie into their own custody, so she's not able to double cross them. So, with the third storyline, though, which takes place in Madrid, Spain, we do see Alder finding Santos, who used to be a gatekeeper for the secrets of the Camarilla. She goes to him hoping to get the Camarilla's research about the last two bloodlines for the first song, the last two pieces she needs, only to find out by their records that the bloodlines were killed off long ago before their piece of the song could be passed on to the next steward. Um, Although she did get a Camarilla souvenir of a music box which used the vocal cords of what I assume is one of the extinct bloodlines. So Alder then takes the music box to Tally so that Tally can use her sight to look into the past to find out more information about the final steward before they died. Also, in this moment, this is where Tally shared her witch bomb vision to Alder, and how again we were told that the mother has a plan and we should focus on the plan to help out. But we'll talk about a bit more there. The last scene of the episode shows Scylla being kind of captured in a truck with her own collar, so she's kind of like detained. She hears about Rael's return and she's ecstatic about it, but then that excitement kind of simmers down when she finds out that she's going to this place called the interrogation center, but the witch soldiers have deemed it as the slaughterhouse because no one returns from the interrogation center alive, which really puts a damper on Scylla's newfound excitement for Rael's return. So that's something there. So character-wise, just very briefly, we did find out a little bit more about the Marshals and how they operate. Apparently, they're all connected in a similar fashion to Alder and her biddies. So we're hoping to use that connection to find the main marshal who fled with President Wade, but apparently being in communication has been a little bit tricky the last few days, from my understanding, from the marshal that was set at the perimeter before he was killed by Oversight. So there's that. Also, at the end of the episode, we have Abigail and Adil wanting to join Thelma's militia because they do not want to be a part of the military if the Camarilla has their hold over it, which is understandable. So, tidbit-wise, we did have one scene set at the diner when Anacostia is still trying to continue her mission to find President Wade. We do have her kind of have a bit of an encounter with Nicta's new face, according to Anacostia, and they kind of have like kind of this moment where it's like they're meeting as if they're like complete strangers and tourists, and that might be true for Anacostia, or maybe she has suspicions, but definitely Nicta knows what Anacostia looks like, but Anacostia doesn't know what Nicta's new face looks like. So that'll be interesting there. But when Anacostia leaves, Nicta then slowly follows behind her, and then so does every other diner patron as well. So it'll be interesting to see just how much each other knows about the other. So that's something there. We do find out in this episode that according to Alder, the first song is supposed to be more powerful or stronger than the witch bomb. Supposedly, the first song is what can stop the witch bomb, or at least that's Tally's assumption, but Alder doesn't correct her or confirm that. She just lets Tally continue believing that, so I don't know how much truth there is behind that. We also know, we do see firsthand that the Camarilla now have created their own weaponry, or not weaponry, their armory that can repel any witch workings done directly to them. We see that when the marshal is thrown backwards when he tries to do workings on the Oversight leader. We do see Tally kind of getting the blowback of her own spell work when she tries to put it on. I guess she tried to knock the Oversight off his knees, but instead she gets knocked out instead, kind of like if you try this, and like if the whole like if you, what's that phrase? I don't know the phrase. Maybe if you try to hurt me, you're actually hurting yourself kind of a situation. But anyways, there's that. So that's interesting there. So no direct witch workings if you want to actually lay an attack on them. So there's that. I think I said we do not get any scenes at Fort Salem or at the White House. Um, we don't see anything of Hearst. He's only featured in photos and he's only talked about when it was the conversation between Alder and Santos. Apparently, or at least it was my impression, that Santos kind of implied that Hearst was the only other person who experimented with the lost steward's vocal cords. Not entirely sure if that is correct or not, but he definitely is the only one mentioned to have dived into that extra realm of experimentation. So we will. I guess that's my. Do I have that question? I guess that's also my question there, though, because if he actually is experimenting with the witch vocal cords, I'm wondering if are the ones that he just transplanted into himself the one from that witch that was on the operating table from it, or could that be the vocal cords that were supposedly from the one of the lost stewards of the first song? Because Santos did say it was a Camarilla custom to create that kind of souvenir, right? So that's my question there. But moving on to most shocking moment of the episode, I think for me it has to be the fact that one of the marshals was killed. I definitely wasn't expecting it. I thought there would be a lot more resistance, but yeah, it was just like knife to the chest, and it's just like no one was trying to fight him off to it. That was just like a huge surprise there. I'm wondering if there's going to be a blowback to all the other marshals from it, like kind of like when the Alder had one of her biddies getting killed, and then we saw the repercussions of that happening. But yeah, it was just a surprise that I get to see the marshals getting killed off, or to see it get that far. That was a surprise for me. But moving on to top 3 favorite moments, I will say it was great to have Riel back, and it was just like super exciting to see all the different reunions she had. We got to see her reunion / goodbye with her mom Willa, which was very emotional. Top that off to the hugely emotional reunion between Tally and Rael. They immediately had tears when they saw each other. I was getting a little emotional when I saw that too. Um, so that was something there. And then to also have Abigail rushing to Rael to hug her when she first sees her actually being back was just so really great to have that unit hug again. So it's like I really miss Rael, and I'm glad that we definitely got to see a whole blown emotions when everyone got to see her being back on her feet and with them again. So that was pretty cool. I really liked the scene when when Abigail did the sneak attack on that oversight leader who had killed the marshal. I was like waiting for like this guy needs to go, and then, like the way she did it was just like, yeah, that kudos. That's a smart move to do it. If you couldn't do your regular workings, I guess that would mean that she actually physically had to snap his neck, because we saw with Rael, or not Rael, fudge. We saw with Tally she couldn't use a working to knock the oversight soldier out because of the armor. So that would mean that Abigail wouldn't have been able to do that either. So she must have had to like physically snap his neck while being invisible. So that's quite something there. But also it's just like a badass moment for Abigail to like kind of get revenge against the marshal and to kind of set her the other soldiers free for a moment to just be truthful. And then like her speech to them as well was just like fantastic. Abigail is going to go far when she's going to be commanding loads of soldiers and not just her own small unit. So it's just like really inspirational, and also just it kind of like, for me, it brought hope back to them. It's like for them, I could see them as the soldiers like all hope is lost. We're stuck following this oversight leader who wants all witches to die. And then here is Abigail Bellwether with her speech of hope, and then now it's like this could work. Like there's a new plan. There's a way to defeat them from within. It was just like a great motivational moment. I really like that Abigail got to have that moment. So it was like really cool. Another favorite I did have was just all being able to see Alder learning more about the first song from Santos, and it wasn't just like us operating off of Alder already knowing all the answers. It was great that she had to go out searching for where those last 2 pieces were. And it was just also very interesting to see that added history between the 2 sides. definitely got a little bit more uncontrollable when she found out about the memento they had of when they killed her sister. The Camarilla killed her sister. Um, but otherwise, up to that point, it was really great to see like the book, to hear a little bit of history of what the Camarilla had uncovered about the bloodlines, and just having Alder be able to like learn a bit more what the enemy has learned about the first song, so that she could see what the pieces were missing, or at least to know what the Camarilla were operating off of. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I will go into the top three peeve moments. The only peeve I really had was the fact that Rael returns just when Scylla is separated from the group. So the moment that Scylla gets taken as a hostage, you get Rael returning to the group. And I'm just like, damn it, it's like they're two passing ships again. When will they be reunited? Because they're like, they're the ones that want to find and be with each other. It's just like, that was just, I get why, because it brings drama, but I just hope their reunion is just all the more powerful. It just sucks the timing wise of it. It's just like, she was just there. I kind of wish too that when Tally and Rael had their reunion, I wished it was Scylla running in instead of Thelma, but I get why. I just want them to be reunited. So there's that. But let's move on to random questions very quickly. I only had a few of them, and that is the first one being, did Alder take that book with all the witch bloodlines with her when she left, so that the Camarilla didn't have that in their possession anymore, or did she just walk out? I kind of hope she took the book with them. A part of me kind of wished that she she tried to take a lot of what the Camarilla had about the witches with her, if not taking it for their own knowledge, or at least burning it so that the Camarilla couldn't have it anymore. I was kind of hoping, but did she do any of that? I don't know. She just walked away after hanging Santos's body and kind of carving him up for revenge, which I get it. She saw what killed her sister, and it was triggered some things. I totally understand that response from her. Plus, he also tried to stab her and kill her and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm wondering if she took anything, or if she destroyed stuff so the Camarilla didn't have it. So there's that. Another question: are there more soldiers invading the session, or is it just those three waves that we saw? Like, is the session over, or is the invasion over, or is still more to come, and they really do have to prep up? And then if that's the case, is it still just the misguided objective of trying to locate the bellwether unit and then like capture the council, or it's like that's still the public's story for what's going on, or like what is it, like what's happening? So that's a question there. My last question is, do you think Anacostia and Nicta will work together to locate President Wade? That would be interesting of a dynamic for sure. Also be very interesting too, because we did see Anacostia kind of adapt some of the spree ways. So I'm wondering if that would change the dynamic she would have with Nicta. Plus, I'm also trying to remember, was there any specific interaction between Nicta and Anacostia last season when she got captured, or was it just before the trial? Like, I'm trying to remember. But that'd be interesting of a dynamic to see. I mean, last season we did see Anacostia working with Scylla, so it'd be very interesting to see how that would work with Nicta, you know? So there's that. So let's move on to predictions very quickly. Once again, I'm not going to watch the promo if I can help it. If I get spoiled a little bit, like through like Twitter and like thumbnails and like screen grabs, then okay, but I'm not going to go actively searching for the promo, because I feel like I liked how I went into this episode completely blind except for the synopsis. So like any visuals weren't like, oh, I've seen that, or like they didn't spoil me. So like I really got a genuine reaction when like I saw Rael's reunion with everybody and like the fights that occurred. So I'm going to try that again. I'm not going to watch the promo for 308. But the 308 synopsis does read that the unit races to rescue a captured ally, which is Scylla, and Alder and Tally journey to retrieve the penultimate piece of the first song, which is probably Tally's visions going to the past. And then Fort Salem finds itself under Camarilla's control, which I don't know how much more that is going to look like. Maybe that's going to focus more about the invasion still occurring, or maybe it's actually going to take place at Fort Salem. I'm not sure. But I'm very interested to see how Tally's sight is going to work by going into the past, and how they're going to depict that. I mean, we saw her a little bit going into the past with Alder's memories of Nicta, but that was because of her residual connection to Alder as a former biddy. So it'll be very interesting to see how they do that visually for Tally with her sight. So that'll be something cool there. Very interested to see how the unit is gonna get to Scylla before she gets to the slaughterhouse, or sorry, interrogation center, and just what kind of tactics they're gonna use. But I'm very excited to see. That's only 3 more episodes left, 8, 9, and 10, and then that's it for the show. But it's it's packing a punch right now. It seems like we're really going down very quick down the road of like action packed to the climax. I'm really excited about that though. But what did you guys think of this episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and opinions about that. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. Other links are down below in the description box for Tumblr and WordPress if that interests you as well. But otherwise, guys, it's going to be pretty much it. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode. I'm very excited for it. And until then, this is Mel. Wish you a great day, great week wherever you are. Please stay safe. And until next time, bye.